Alright guys, I need you to stay with me on this one because what we're about to talk about might actually be one of the wildest rumors we've seen in a long time. And you know this community doesn't get shaken easily. But this feels different. Because it's not just about Park Jimin and Jungkook anymore. No, this just escalated to a whole new level. We're talking about Paris, we're talking about family, and we're talking about something that has the entire fandom asking the same question. Is this just a trip, or is something much bigger happening behind the scenes? So here's what's making everyone lose their minds right now. At first, the news sounded simple. Jimin and Jungkook reportedly planning a trip to Paris. And you know how it goes, right? Paris, the city of love, the city of unforgettable moments, the place where people don't just travel, they mark milestones. Naturally, fans started speculating. Okay, what's going on? Is this just a vacation? Is there a project? But then things took a turn. Because suddenly, it wasn't just the two of them anymore. Reports, whispers, and fan observations started pointing to something way bigger. Their families might be involved too. And that's when everything changed. Because let's be honest, guys, idols traveling together? Normal. Friends going abroad? Totally fine. Even members going to Paris? Not shocking. But when you start hearing that families are joining the trip, now that's not casual anymore. That's not just, hey, let's go sightseeing. That's planned. That's intentional. That's something that makes you stop scrolling and go, wait, what is really happening here? And I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. Are we overreacting? Is this just fans connecting dots that don't exist? But let me ask you this, when was the last time something like this happened without meaning something? Because in this community, we've seen patterns before. We've seen how private moments are protected, how big life events are carefully handled, and how sometimes the biggest stories are the quietest ones. Now imagine this scenario for a second. Paris. A private setting. Closed people only. No big announcements. No public spectacle. Just a moment shared between the people who matter the most. Doesn't that sound like the kind of situation where something deeply personal could happen? Something meaningful? Something life-changing? And this is exactly why the rumor about a possible wedding, even if it sounds shocking, even if it feels almost unbelievable, is spreading like wildfire. Because when you combine all the elements, the location, the timing, the presence of family, it creates a narrative that's just too powerful to ignore. It's not about jumping to conclusions, it's about understanding why people are feeling this way. But hold on before we go too far, let's slow down for a second. Because this is where things get really interesting. There's a difference between speculation and reality, and as a community, we need to walk that line carefully. Because while the idea of a secret wedding in Paris sounds like something straight out of a movie, we also know how private Jimin and Jungkook are when it comes to their personal lives. They've always been respectful, careful, and very intentional about what they share with the public. But at the same time, that's exactly what makes this situation even more intriguing. Because when people who are usually private suddenly appear in a context that feels significant, fans naturally start asking questions. Not out of disrespect, but out of curiosity, out of love, and honestly, out of emotional investment. Because let's be real, guys, we've grown with them. We've supported them. We've seen their journey from the beginning. So when something like this comes up, it doesn't just feel like news, it feels personal. And here's another thing that's making this rumor even stronger, the emotional connection between Jimin and Jungkook themselves. Over the years, we've seen countless moments, countless interactions, countless memories that have built a bond that fans deeply care about. Whether you see it as friendship, brotherhood, or something else entirely, one thing is clear. Their connection is real, and it's meaningful. So when you take that connection and you place it in a setting like Paris, surrounded by family, you can see why people are starting to wonder if this is more than just coincidence. Because sometimes it's not about one big piece of evidence. Sometimes, it's about 100 small details coming together to tell a story. But here's the twist. What if it's not a wedding? Yeah, I know, plot twist. What if this is something completely different? What if this is a family gathering, a celebration, a milestone that has nothing to do with marriage at all? Because, let's not forget, there are so many reasons why families might come together like this. Anniversaries, reunions, personal celebrations, even just creating memories together in a place as iconic as Paris. And honestly, that possibility is just as beautiful. Because at the end of the day, what we're really seeing here, beyond all the rumors, beyond all the speculation, is something genuine. We're seeing people who have worked incredibly hard, who have given so much to the world, taking time to be with the people they love. And whether it's a wedding, a celebration, or just a meaningful trip, that's something worth appreciating. But let's be real again for a second. Even if there's a 1% chance that something bigger is happening, you know this community is going to talk about it. You know fans are going to analyze every detail, every photo, every movement. That's just who we are. We care, we observe, and yeah, sometimes we let our imagination run wild. And maybe, just maybe, that's part of the fun too. Because moments like this bring the fandom together. They spark conversations, theories, emotions. They remind us why we're here in the first place. Not just for the music, but for the connection, for the stories, for the feeling of being part of something bigger. So whether this turns out to be a simple trip or something historic, one thing is certain. We're all watching, we're all waiting, and we're all feeling something. And now I want to hear from you guys. Seriously, what do you think is really going on here? Do you believe this is just a family trip to Paris? Or do you think there's something bigger happening behind the scenes? Are we witnessing a normal moment, or the beginning of a story no one saw coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't hold back. This is your space, this is our community, and your voice matters here. And if you enjoyed this kind of deep dive, emotional breakdown, and real talk about what's happening in the fandom, make sure you hit that like button so more people in this community can join the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because trust me, if anything new comes out about this, you're going to want to be here first.